She's struggling with anxiety and depression, but doesn't know how to talk about it. She feels alone, misunderstood, and overwhelmed. Now, imagine if Sarah had been taught about mental health in school, how to recognize her feelings, where to find help, and how to cope. Couldn't that change her life? Unfortunately, Sarah's story is not unique. According to the World Health Organization, 10 to 20% of adolescents worldwide experience mental health conditions, yet many remain undiagnosed and untreated. Mental health education should be a required part of schools' curriculums because it helps students recognize signs of mental illness, reduces stigma, and provides tools for lifelong emotional well-being. Today we will discuss first why mental health education is crucial for students' well-being, next how proper education can reduce stigma and encourage open conversations in the classroom, and finally what steps schools can take to implement mental health education effectively. As a student, I've seen firsthand what the struggles that my peers face. Through research and personal experience, I understand the importance of mental health awareness and the roles that schools can play with them. Additionally, organizations like the American Psychological Association emphasize that early mental health education leads to improved student outcomes and reinforces my position on this issue. If we want students to reach their full potential, we must provide them with the right foundation, not just academically, but emotionally as well. National Alliance on Mental Health Illness says 1 in 5 young people experience a mental health condition per year. This means that in a classroom of, say, 30 students, at least 6 may be struggling with issues like depression or anxiety. Students often don't recognize symptoms in themselves or their friends. A study published by the Journal of School Psychology found that students who receive mental health education are significantly more likely to seek help when they notice early warning signs. Schools teach physical health, but neglect mental health leaves students vulnerable to issues like stress, anxiety, and depression. Dr. Nadine Burke Harris, a pediatrician and former Surgeon General of California, states that untreated mental health conditions in youth often leads to academic struggles and long-term health consequences. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, reports that suicide is the second leading cause of death among teenagers. And early intervention through education can play a crucial role in prevention. Understanding mental health isn't just about identifying the problems. It's about equipping students with tools to lead healthier and more successful lives. Mental health is often seen as a taboo topic, leading students to suffer in silence. The National Institute of Mental Health reports that the stigma is one of the biggest barriers preventing people from seeking treatment. A study by the CDC found that 60% of youth with depression do not receive any mental health treatment due to stigma or lack of awareness. This can lead to worsening conditions and more severe consequences in adulthood. When schools openly discuss mental health, it normalizes seeking help and encourages student environment. Research from Harvard School of Public Health suggests that education programs that include discussions on mental health lead to an increased awareness and empathy among students. Educating students about mental health also empowers them to help their peers. The American School Counselor Association found that students who are knowledgeable about mental health are more likely to intervene and support friends who are struggling. Breaking the stigma is a vital step, but true progress comes from action and implementation. Schools can incorporate mental health topics into health or life skills classes. According to the National Education Association, schools that integrate mental health education into their curriculum see improved student behavior and academic performance. Teachers and counselors should receive training to receive warning signs and recognize those warning signs of mental health struggles within their students. A report about the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration states that the early intervention is critical in addressing mental health issues before they can escalate. Schools that provide access to mental health resources such as counseling services and support groups. A report from Child Mind Institute found that students who have access to school-based counseling services experience a significant reduction in symptoms of anxiety and depression. Community partnership can also help schools implement mental health programs. The National Association of School Psychologists suggests that The collaboration between schools and local mental health organizations can provide students with additional resources and support systems. Creating a culture of mental health awareness in schools doesn't just help individual students, it strengthens entire communities, ensuring a healthier and more supportive future for all. First, we discussed why mental health is important and essential to schools. Next, we explored how education helps reduce stigma and encourages conversations about mental health. And finally, we looked at steps schools can take to implement mental health programs into their curriculum. Mental health is just as important as physical health. If we truly care about this next generation's future, we must equip them with the knowledge and tools they need to take care of their minds. As the World Health Organization says, there is no health without mental health. I urge you to support mental health education in schools because every student deserves a chance to thrive.